Welcome into another edition of Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm Rick Couri, your host, and can you feel it? It's fall. It's in the air out there, and yeah, I know pretty soon everything will be pumpkin spice, but really what's happening is the weather is getting cooler, sports are beginning to change, and we're going to get into a lot of that today right here on Inside Tulsa Athletics. We're going to talk with Nathan Hale's head football coach and their principal. We'll talk a little cross country and soccer from the folks over at McLean. One of the athletic trainers will stop by to visit with us as well, all right here on Inside Tulsa Athletics. We're back on Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm your host, Rick Couri, and we're talking a little football because it's fall, and that's what you're supposed to do. Edison's head football coach, Robert Borgstadt, is here with us, and you know, this is the time of year when it starts to cool off. We're getting closer to playoffs, and there's just an extra pep in the step for players and coaches, isn't there?
Yes, it is. You know, those 3-hour practices when it's 9 degrees are not fun. So it's a little bit nicer out there on the practice field, and you're getting close to playoff time. So yes.
And you get this deep into your season, you kind of know your team. And we're talking a little about your guys beforehand, but kind of give me the personality, if you will, of your team, because everybody kind of finds that as the season goes along.
We got a bunch of good kids who work hard. You know, we're struggling a little bit right now on offense, but they come to work every day, work and do the things we're asking them to do. Tough kids, play hard, try to do the right thing, you know, and are going to play for a whole 4 quarters.
And that's the important thing. You just want them to get the best out of themselves that they can. Sometimes it doesn't show up in wins and losses, but if you can convince them of that, it makes week to week easier, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and we talk about it. It's more than just football. It's a life lesson. You got to learn to push through adversity, work, do the things that are going to make you successful in life. You know, so that's what we try to preach to them, that you're not always going to get the outcome you want on a Friday night, but if you learn these skills, if you learn to work hard, show up, be dependable, you know, then you will be successful later on in life.
Now, obviously, everybody who's playing has got somebody that's playing really well, and they've got a couple of somebodies. Give me some names off your football team, people to watch for.
London LeBay, he's done a really good job for us. He's a receiver. We use him to tailback a little bit, and he's stepped up. You know, we had Cash Bryant was one of our better kids, and unfortunately he got hurt in All City, and so London stepped up in his place, and then Ruben Robledo also stepped up. He's our starting tailback. He's doing a really good job for us right now.
You know, when you're talking about this time of year, you've kind of gotten your team to where it is. You had some injuries, that kind of thing. You know who they are at this point. Do you ever, in that point in the season, kind of massage what you do because, all right, here's what I want to do, but here's what they're capable of?
No, exactly. That's exactly what you do. As you go through the early part of the season, you start to figure out, okay, kids aren't great at this, but the kids are better at this. So you start leaning your offense towards doing the things that they can do, that they can perform well, that's easy for them to do.
Yeah, and then when they get that, and something they're really good at, they get that kind of momentum going. It's better in practice too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, they get a little bit of confidence, and things are better for them. So yeah, definitely.
When you're pushing toward this time of the year, and you know the playoffs aren't far away, and again, wins and losses aren't always exactly what you want. How do you keep your kids focused and going? Because you've been grinding for a long time.
Well, the good thing about high school football here in Oklahoma is 4 teams get into the playoffs. So late into the season, everybody's still alive. You know, it's not until weeks 8, 9, and 10 that somebody's probably eliminated. So at this point right now, most teams still have a chance. So the way our schedule worked out, we had the tougher teams at the beginning of the season. And so we're still in the hunt. You know, if we win out, we're going to get in. So we still have that motivation to go try to make the playoffs. So.
You know, we started this by talking a little bit about the weather because it is a little bit cooler outside. And nobody likes, like you said, 3-hour practices when it's 100. However, when it gets nicer like this, do you back off a little? Do you push a little more? You got to balance that. You're toward the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, when you start getting late into the year, you don't need as much individual time. And so you start backing off a little bit, try to keep their legs fresh because it is a long season and kids are starting to get banged up. So it's like somebody said, you got to get the horse to the race, right? So we don't want them to get injured in practice all the time. We got to get them to the Friday night, give ourselves a chance.
You know, the other thing is it's a little cooler. It's harder sometimes to convince them about hydration. You guys have to push that even harder when the weather cools?
No, not really. Our kids are real good about taking care of their bodies and doing what they need to do, you know. I mean, even when it was hot, we didn't have very many issues with cramps. So they've done a really good job about that.
So if there's a couple things you could say, okay, and you could snap your fingers and your team would do those really well the last few weeks, what would it be?
Run the football and stop the run. That's what wins football games, you know. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, defense travels, as they say, right? So that does make a difference. But there is something to peaking at the right time, isn't there?
Oh yeah, definitely. You want to have confidence going in. You could have a great record, but be struggling the last 2 or 3 weeks going into the playoffs, and that's not a place you want to be.
No, we always tell people it's not the best team, it's the team playing
the
best.
best. Yep.
And you're trying to get to be that team playing best, so you can kind of pick that up a little bit. How have your numbers been and things like that over at Edison?
Numbers are going up. First year I was there, we had 50-something kids. Now we're up to 80. You know, and we start off the season with 90, but that's how it goes in high school football. You're going to start off and you're going to lose some at the beginning of the year, but we're still around 80 kids, so numbers are going up, and that's good for us.
What would your ideal be if you were going to pick a number of players you'd like to have out?
Ideally, I'd like to have 100, because when you get to 100, then you can start practicing one way.
Sure.
You can say, you guys are just defense, you guys are offense. Now, instead of practicing an hour defense and an hour offense, now kids over here practicing for 2 hours of defense. This kid's practicing for 2 hours of offense. They get twice the practice time throughout the week, you know, and when they go into a game on Friday night, they're not dead. We got kids who are trying to play 140 snaps against kids who are playing 70 snaps.
Yeah, I get it. That's tough. Robert, thank you for coming by. Good luck the rest of the way, and I hope that cool weather stays with you. Robert Borgstadt, he is the head football coach at Edison. Back with more coming up right here on Inside Tulsa Sports.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I feel like athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show what they're good at.
We're back on Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm your host, Rick Couri, and I am happy right now because I get to talk to a guy who's a Nathan Hale Ranger. He is the head football coach at Nathan Hale. He is Isaiah Irvin. Welcome in.
Thank you so much for having me.
From one Ranger to another. And I think I've said that enough on this show. Everybody knows I'm a graduate. All right, so tell me how things are going at Nathan Hale. And first of all, congratulations on breaking that losing streak to start the year.
That was good. I think it was more about the boys. I think they were really excited about that. They worked really hard throughout the summer, and we got a pretty strong senior group. This is my 5th year, so I was able to see that group at middle school. So I knew that group was going to be pretty special. And right now they're at 2 wins, and trying to get a couple more to make an opportunity to get a chance to go to the playoffs. So.
And just trying to get better, right? I mean, that's the whole idea, is trying to get better. And coaches always say when you win, you can coach them harder. So when you win that game 1, what did you see in their eyes? How did that go? How did you follow that up?
I think it was all about just, letting them have that little time in the locker room, celebrating with each other and everything. And, as a coach, it took longer than we expected to get that first win. But after we got the win, it was already kind of predetermined. We told them enjoy it for 48 hours and we get back, we got to move on to the next opponent. So it went well. It went good, and it was a good night to see that winning streak, that losing streak taking over. So, yeah.
The great thing about this is you have an opportunity to see kids get better every day, and not just in football, but in other things, because they learn from this game. What are you seeing your team get better at as the year progresses?
I think they're just doing all the little things right with nutrition, with grades. Of course, when you're winning and working hard, everything goes full circle. So, I think our kids are just working harder. They kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. They see the potential that they have, and I think it's just with the student body and everything like that. I mean, you see more alumni in the stands. You see more, students in the stands, and it's just been really good support this year.
It's difficult. I know everybody struggles with numbers, and I talk to everybody about that, and I'll ask you about that in a little bit. But you're trying to rebuild something that, every school in the district has had its moments.
Yes.
Booker T is still really good. Central was great at a time. So was Rogers. Nathan Hale was really good back in those 60s, 70s times. The 72 team, the 79 team, state champions, really good players, really good legacies there. You got to get that through to today's kids, though. How do you do that, and does it really matter to them?
I think 2 years ago, that I kind of put a banner. You usually see them in the basketball gym and everything, but I put an all-state board in the field house. I put the district championships and state championship banners in the field house so the kids can kind of see that on a daily basis. And, we just tell the kids who's going to be next. Who's going to be next all-stater to come through here? Right. Who's going to be the next team to get a district championship or a state championship. So I think it's just the more they see it, the more they're going to believe it and achieve it. So,
and that helps, doesn't
yes,
it?
Sir.
There's no question. Well, how are your numbers since we mentioned it there?
So our numbers right now, we're in the mid 40s, which has been double from what I've had about this time in the past. We're just looking forward to what we have now. And then the 8th grade group that we have, they're in the 30s. So we're set up for, get back into the 60s and 70 kids within the next couple of years. So everything's going in the right direction.
How do you recruit? How do you get out and get them to do that? There was a time when people just showed up, but it's not that way anymore. There's so much other stuff to do.
I think for us, it kind of started when we had the back to school. We had our football table set up. Our administration did an amazing job allowing us to have a table, and the athletic directors to have a table set up there to kind of see them as they were coming into the building, and just getting names and phone numbers of parents and recruiting these kids, and a lot of lunchroom. And my assistant coaches, Coach T and Coach C, they're just go-getters. We don't see anything in the hall that look like they can help, or just you want to come out and participate in football. So it's been really good when it comes to that. Just all the help we have and the support. It's been amazing.
You talked about being with those kids when they were at a lower level. It's one of the things that we've heard so much about is to start them into a process or a program at an early age, but that requires a lot of consistency. How do you go about that?
For me, kind of got the old school ways. I feel like it's going to start as soon as we can lay our hands on them and able to start coaching them up. And for us, our middle school is on campus. So 6th through 8th grade group is coached by 2 of my assistant coaches. So Coach T coaches, he's the head coach of the middle school team, as well as the linebacker coach for the high school. So, when a kid comes to the high school level, he understands a play, he understands how we want to get lined up. And, if you want to be successful, I feel like that's the best way of going about it. So everybody that's in the middle school program have some type of role with the high school program. So we work all hand in hand together.
That's great. Now, let's give Coach T and Coach C some credit. So who are they really? What's their names?
So we got Coach Trey Parker and then Coach Charles Thomas.
You always want to let those guys know that you appreciate them, right? Because
Yes,
it's not easy when you're trying to carry this kind of almost, you're not by yourself, but it can feel that way. And so having all those guys on the same page, it really helps, doesn't it?
It does for sure. And it's just, constant coaching meetings from all the way back in March, getting the guys together and how we wanted to lay out the season and expectations and everything. So it's been great. It's been real great.
Isaiah, thank you for coming in, and go get them Rangers.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate that. That's Isaiah Irvin. He is the head football coach at Nathan Hale. Coming back more next right here on Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Hey, it's time for more on Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm your host, Rick Couri, and we are joined now by an athletic trainer. You have to say athletic trainer, or they can get particular. Annette Black with TPS. I'm just kidding. I know a lot of trainers. I'm married to one, for goodness sake, and I know how important it is to say athletic trainer, because you guys are doing something pretty specialized, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Honestly, like, people ask us all the time, what is an athletic trainer? And there's really not, you can't just define it very easily. Easiest way to say is you see those people that get injured on a football field, the people that run out there, that's what we do. A lot of people see us as the water girls. That's only part of what we do. We also do all the rehab, injury evaluation, all of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun. I enjoy it. It's different for sure.
Yes, I absolutely understand that when someone says, hey, you're the one that carries water out there, that kind of causes a little blood boil, right?
Just a little bit, just a little bit. That's part of our job. Absolutely.
But not most of that job. How in the world did you get into the training part of it?
I was an athlete growing up, and then I got injured, medically disqualified before I even reached high school. And so I was always in the athletic training room, and then I went to Jinx, so I hung out with Herb Ray, who's the athletic trainer out at Booker T, Washington, and he kind of just grew this love of athletic training for me, and that's where I started, and I owe everything to him for sure. And I've just enjoyed it.
Is it the helping people? Is it the helping people get better? Is it the diagnostics? What is it that really grabbed you?
I think what really grabbed me is getting to see the injury and then getting to see the athlete go back to what they enjoy. Seeing the injury happen, and then you get to a few months later see a kid go catch his first touchdown after injury or something like that, and you get to watch them do what they love again.
Yeah,
So
that is so fun.
Yes.
When you say see the injury, though, I know my wife, again, who was an athletic trainer at the University of Tulsa, you'll see a game on TV and somebody will get hurt, and I don't like watching that. I look away.
They click to commercial. I'm like, no, I want to watch that.
See, you guys want to see that,
Exactly.
Right? Are you thinking when you do that, is it like, okay, I want to see, because in my brain it automatically goes to, what do I do?
Exactly. I want to see what their athletic training staff is doing, what type of tests they're doing on the field real quick, because on the field it's just a quick, how can I get them off the field safely?
Right, sure.
And then you do everything else, all the big stuff in the back. So
obviously things have really advanced when it comes to treatment and the kind of things even you have available at a game. Even in the time you've been doing this, what have you seen as biggest advances?
Portable ultrasounds, portable x-rays, all of that kind of stuff. They've gotten better and more reliable and easily accessible. Like on our sidelines at TPS, like, we might not be able to have a portable x-ray, anything like that, but if you go to, say, TU or something like that, if someone gets injured, you can take them right off.
Sure.
And see an x-ray right then and there, and if it's not bone related, maybe we can do something and get them back in the game.
And we're also, we're getting them back a lot quicker too.
Oh,
from
absolutely.
Things like STEM units and things like that. What along those lines have you seen really help?
There's laser therapy now. There's a big push for like cryotherapy, oxygen, hyperbaric chambers, that kind of stuff. It's very interesting, and everything's science, and science. Everything just kind of grows on itself. And even from what I learned in undergrad, that kids are learning different things now, and I'm like, I don't even know what you guys are learning in school anymore, because I wasn't taught that. So I'm having to go back and read stuff. So.
New math, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you see some of this stuff come in, it's general. You're right, it's science. Still, if we've done something one way a long time, it's hard for us to make that next step. Do you find that easy to just accept and move to that, or do you have that skeptical eye too? I'm skeptical of it sometimes, but I'd love to do research. Research is one of my favorite things to do. So I will sit there and go to Google Scholar and try to get what I can, go to the Athletic Training Journal and NATA, all of that kind of stuff, and try to do my own research and try to look better into how this is going to help us anymore.
And
By the way, if you hear a couple of things in the background, it's Lily.
it's my little girl. She's
Lily
over
is sitting
here.
right over in the corner, and I wish we had a shot because she's cute as can be. And she's just the happiest little child over there, but she is occasionally making some noises. And actually, I think it's kind of fun. Hi, Lily. She's doing great over there in the corner. Lily, you're happy because your mom can set something if you break it, right? So you're in good shape.
Absolutely.
So this time of year, it gets cooler.
Yes.
Are you finding it harder to make your athletes drink?
Sometimes, absolutely. They don't sweat as much, so they're like, oh, I don't need to drink as much. They're not as thirsty throughout the day. Oh, absolutely.
In this time of year when we're pushing toward the playoffs, we see people who want to get back, whether they should or not, a little earlier. How do you have that discussion?
I look at it, say we've got 4 weeks left in season. I'm like, hey, listen, I would much rather see you the first week of playoffs play than this week or this week. And we can kind of play that game by ear. Like you say, oh, this game, we don't want to say it, but we're like, we can win this game without you,
Sure.
right? Or we'll sit them from practice, and I want to see you play on a game day or in playoffs. I don't want you to come back too early. I'd much rather watch you play than practice, is what I say.
Some years you see knee injuries, some years you see high ankles. That was a thing for a while. What are you guys seeing? Is there an injury du jour this year?
Sadly, we've seen a lot of concussions. That's, I think, throughout TPS, we've had a decent amount of concussions, and there's nothing we can do about that. Kids are hitting harder, and that's just kind of what we've been dealing with a lot.
Well, I hope you continue to deal with it on a successful basis. Annette
Hopefully.
and Lily, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. Back
Thank
in a
you.
minute here with more Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
We're back on Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm your host, Rick Couri, and we are now joined by someone who, this is actually true, I have clothes older than she is. Katie Ayala is the assistant volleyball coach at Rogers. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
And you're 20 years old.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have to ask you, at 20 years old, you're coaching athletes who are younger than you, but really not that much younger. How is that? What's that like?
At first, it was kind of strange. I definitely had to set a barrier, like a boundary, you know, because some of these girls think that like I know their lingo and stuff, but I really don't. I'm focused on like school and focused on like my own things, adulting.
Why adulting, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not all it's cut out to be. I'll tell you that. What made you want to become a coach?
Well, our former coach, Karen Sue McKenzie, she mentored me, and I would volunteer coach a lot with her. And whenever she left, I stepped in like that spot. I think that like TPS has like young athletes that want the chance to like play at a higher level, if that makes sense. So I just kind of want to give those girls the chance to play at like a higher level and reach their full potential. Like that's my thing. Like I want to help these girls reach their full potential, because a lot of these girls don't really know what their full potential is.
Sure.
So.
Well, isn't that part of this whole thing, is you're trying to not only help guide them toward that, but teach them that maybe it's more than they think it is.
Yes.
Is that a hard job to do?
It is. A lot of these girls like want to give up on themselves, especially when it comes to conditioning. Conditioning is a big one. These girls think like they like are at their full capacity when they're really not. It's like all mental, especially in volleyball. Like when you're like 25 to 25, like at that point, it's like an endurance thing. Like you really need to push. So.
How did you do that as a player? Because it's one thing to do it there, but it's another to explain to somebody else how to do it. So how did you do it as a player, and how do you take that to your teaching?
I like think of it as something bigger than myself. Like I'm playing for my team, for Rogers, you know, like it's not about me anymore. Like, that's what I want these girls to understand. Like, it's for your team.
Sure.
Like, it's no longer for yourself.
Well, that whole thing where they say you're playing for the person next to you or
Yes.
the person on both sides of you is to getting that message across. How do you do that? Do you do it in practice? Do you do it by speeches? Do you do it by going and showing them? What do you do?
A lot of it is through speeches. A lot of it is through conditioning. Like, if one girl stops and no one else is like helping her, then I make the whole team run again. Like, if they all go and help that one player, then like it kind of implements that thing. Like, we're a team, you know. Yeah.
So Katie is small but tough.
Yes.
Right. You will definitely put them in their place and make them do their thing. I've asked this before. Now I know you're coaching girls volleyball right now because you're not teaching guys, but I've always found that coaches will always tell me that girls are actually more competitive and in many cases easier to coach. Do you find that to be the case?
I find that girls tend to be like more emotional. So like they're more passionate about it. I'm not sure how to explain it, honestly. Sure. Like with guys, I think they're definitely more competitive. Like they kind of have like their head straight. But with girls, like I think it's more emotional to them.
How's your team doing? Tell me about it.
I think they're doing really well. There's some girls that stand out to me, like Riley Garcia and Ayala, Silali Gomez. Silali's like 5'3", and she's playing our outside and our DS. So someone that definitely stands out to me. And our libero, she's only a junior in high school, and she's excelled so much. Yeah, these girls are really good.
When you see them take the coaching and really start to expand their roles, how does that feel as a person?
It definitely makes me feel well. Like, it makes me feel like I know what I'm talking about. A lot of the times these girls, like they kind of like just say like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. But when they actually do it, like they see a difference, you know, and that's whenever they start taking your critiques more and stuff.
Everybody that comes through here, we ask numbers because that's been a problem, and it's kind of starting to, well, get better, at least for most schools. What are your numbers like?
I think right now we have like 30 girls. It's definitely good. There are a lot, I mean, honestly, in our tryouts, there's a lot of girls that are interested, but what I look for is someone that like wants to play, you know? Like, I can have like someone that is really good but doesn't really want to play, sure. You know? So I'd rather have someone that's going to work for their spot.
You know, from what you said at the beginning, it kind of sounds like you have a kind of a heart for TPS and those TPS kids. Why? Where'd that come from?
Because whenever I played, I wanted to play like at a higher level, and like due to like my financial situation, I really couldn't. So I know like that's the same case with these other girls. Mm-hmm. So instead of coaching for like club or somewhere like that, like I want to give these girls a chance like to play and like, yeah.
Excel.
Yes.
Well, you're an assistant now. Want to be a head coach?
Hopefully soon, I think. Right now I'm still in college, so I'm trying to focus on that first, but yeah.
Well, whatever it is you do, I guarantee you'll be successful at it. Thank you very much, Katie.
Thank you.
That's Katie Ayala. She is the assistant volleyball coach at Rogers, and as you can see, small but powerful. Back with more Inside Tulsa Athletics coming up.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field, and that it's the littlest things that will make all the difference in the long run.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with, not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Hey again, this is Inside Tulsa Athletics, and I am Rick Couri. I'm your host, and we are joined now by McLean's cross-country coach and boys soccer coach, David Perryman. Is that it? That's all?
Yes, sir. That's all. That's all. That's enough.
All right. Every sport kind of crosses. How does cross-country and soccer?
Well, I mean, I hate to inform my soccer players, but they have to run. And so they came to me and said, we don't have a cross-country coach. We haven't had cross-country in a while here at McLean. Mm-hmm. So from what I understand, I guess well before COVID.
Yeah.
And then when they did have it, it was just girls. So this year we've had a good team of boys and girls. I am fortunate enough and blessed enough to have my daughter helping me, my middle daughter. She's helping me coach.
That's cool.
She's coaching the girls, I'm coaching the boys. Same thing for soccer. I'm coaching the boys, she's coaching the girls. So it just seemed to make sense. Why not coach it? Get the kids involved. That's the big thing, getting them involved and getting them there. So.
Yeah, just getting anybody out. When you first decide, or a school decides, hey, we're going to start a program again, I mean, I'm assuming there are boards and announcements and sign-ups and things like that. You don't know how it's going to go.
Right.
How many do you have come back out?
Right now we're running, the girls are a little bit better than the boys, but we've had a consistent 5 boys and probably about 7 to 10 girls, depending on the race. The girls have had a couple where they've only ran 2 miles. They like that a little bit better. The boys are a little bit longer. They run 3.1 miles, so they're not as fast to come out. But we're working on it. We're hoping to build.
Well, at least you've got some to start with. I mean,
right.
And now, when guys sign up for that, did they? I mean, certainly they know cross country is running, so did they kind of know what they were getting into and understand?
Yes, some of them I don't think realized how far it was, but that's okay. We've told them we knew this was just going to be a building year.
Sure.
We just wanted to finish, so we didn't care where we came in on the races. We only had one girl that fell and didn't complete a race. Everybody else has completed the race.
And that's the key initially.
That's the key, yes.
Just go out there and do that.
Yeah.
What kind of potential do you see on both sides?
I think the good thing is we don't have any seniors. We didn't have any seniors. We have all young kids, 9th, 10th graders, a couple of 11th graders.
So life is good.
Life is good. Like I said, we're building it, and we knew it was going to be tough. This isn't my forte. I'm a soccer coach at heart, but figured why not? That it's something to keep the kids involved. Mm-hmm. It's more training. And I'm of the belief if we can keep them busy, they're not out doing things they're not supposed to do.
You know, sometimes you go into something like this and you just kind of put up with it. Sometimes you enjoy it more than you thought. How's it been?
It has actually been fun. Me and my daughter both, we've sat back and looked at the season and thought, and we're like, wow, this has really been fun. We're really kind of looking forward to next year. We're hoping we can get the kids to come out a little bit earlier so that we're behind everybody else because we didn't have a summer program. But I'm thinking this year we'll have some kids come out for the summer program.
Well, now that you're there and you think about that, you get this in your mind about, okay, now I want to do this in the summer, this in the summer, this in the summer. But you have to coach, you have to still coach soccer. Yes. So how are you going to manage that schedule?
Probably what we're going to do, most of our runners are our soccer players this year. So I hope we're going to keep that, try to get more of them interested, and just keep, we'll do cross country comes first at the beginning of the year, and then we'll transition into soccer December 1st.
But you don't get much time off, do you?
No, not much. I'm going to enjoy my summer.
Yeah, right. Definitely. As much as you can, right?
Yes.
But you're even still, and you're doing planning in the summer, right?
Yes, of course. Of course, yeah. We're coming up with things we're going to do. Me and my daughter, like I said, we've also been concentrating, and we had to take this from the beginning. Watched a lot of YouTube and stuff to get prepared. So
YouTube is everybody's friend, no
Yes.
matter what it is, from
Yes,
car
sir.
repair to soccer. I
Yes,
don't care what the
yes.
thing is. YouTube
Yeah.
is your friend. What's the goal for next year? Is it just more guys? Is it more girls? Is it more success?
I'm hoping more success. I'd like to see. I think we made that first step. We got them there. They showed some potential. So I'm hoping maybe next year we'll have some qualifiers. And only thing we have left this year is regionals. So who knows?
Hopefully it goes well. David, thank you for coming
Thank you,
up.
Rick. I
David
appreciate
Perryman,
you.
cross country, soccer, you name it. He does a little bit of everything. Coming back with more right here inside Tulsa Athletics.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I feel like athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLean, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
We're back on Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we filmed this show at Webster High School, so why not bring some of the folks from Webster in? We have done that with Kirk Baker. He's not just the Webster athletic director, but he's also the head volleyball coach, and he coaches golf as well, probably cleans up, cooks some, makes a little popcorn, all that.
Cleaning up is I'm really good at it. I'm good with the broom.
That's a lot of titles, honestly. How do you find the time to do all that?
Well, luckily, I only teach 5 classes during the day, as well as be athletic director. So I'm not doing lesson plans. I find time to do the rest of it. I'm a good, what do you call it when you can, organizer in my head.
Right, so you like the logistics part of it.
Yes.
Yes, I'm big on that myself, not only in my radio and TV jobs, but in my dive instructor jobs. I like logistics. Why do you like that? What is it? Is it getting all the ducks in a row? What is it you enjoy?
I think I like that I can, in the summertime, see what I want to have happen during the season and put the steps in place to make that happen. And when it happens, it's kind of like when I mow a yard.
Right.
I see it's finished and I'm like, I did that.
Right.
So I think that's what it is.
But isn't that what coaching is too? Here's this young person. Here's what I think they can be and here's where they are. Now I'm moving them toward that.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I had to do volleyball this year and really didn't totally know what I was doing, but other TPS coaches were very helpful. And so we knew where we wanted to be, and we ended up winning 12 matches. We went 12-9, and I was hoping we'd win 1. So,
no. Ted Lasso proved you don't have to know to be good at it, right?
I
so
am the
just
Ted
be a goldfish, go coach.
True.
What did you learn about volleyball?
Well, oddly enough, I did play volleyball in college, but I knew nothing about. I coached basketball. I know how to do that.
Sure.
But so I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and I learned like little things that I didn't understand. When libero can go in and come out, and all this movement on the court. So what I did mainly learn is that I need to find a new coach, and I did that. I found a coach for next year.
Did you get an appreciation for it? I mean, as a player, I know you liked it, but I mean, as of the coaching perspective?
We're actually going to take our girls to watch the state tournament because we liked it so much. And we have good athletes. It's just my fault. I wasn't a good enough coach. So I think in the future we'll be pretty good. And because our new coach knows what she's doing.
Yeah, but it's good though to have that kind of experience, isn't it? I mean, you stepped in there and done something like that, which as an athletic director, now you know where they are.
Yeah, very true. And I have much more empathy, and I will understand when they're having a frustrating day. I get it now.
All right, so you're also a golf coach.
I am the golf coach.
All right, so and that's something you were telling me before. That's kind of what you hang a hat on.
Well, yeah, I came to Webster 10 years ago to start the golf program and to coach basketball because the coach at the time had played for my dad and I knew him. But I wanted to just mainly start golf. Mm-hmm. So we did that, and then it got dropped. It was weird during COVID. We ended up losing it for a couple of years. So we came back strong, and it's unbelievable the amount of kids that want to play, but I'm extremely strict. Like, I'm illegal on the grading. If you make a C, you're on probation. And if you have it 2 weeks in a row, I just kick you off. So I just want all the kids to make A's and B's, be good students, and then hopefully learn a little bit of golf. Because they're ninth graders, they've never played golf.
Sure.
And we're part of First Tee. So Janice Gibson out at First Tee is amazing, and they give our kids clubs, golf balls, free rounds of golf year round. It's amazing. So it's nice.
This has got to be really fun when you watch a kid who's never played come in and just start whacking it.
Here's the most amazing thing. Like 3 years ago, we had a girl that was our 5-bag. I mean, she was not good. We went to the regional on a rainy day, windy, terrible weather. Didn't affect her one bit. She made it. She was our first Webster girl in the history of Webster to make it to state in golf. So that was pretty exciting. I taught her how to putt from 50 yards out. So she would get it within 50 and she would putt it up the fairway, and somehow she had it down to where she got it on all the time. So, yeah.
At proving that sometimes it's watching that development, isn't it, that's the most special part?
Yeah, that is what I like about golf, because like I only give them a 7-iron, and I don't let them swing back past 7 o'clock and just learn just the motion down low. And then when you see them actually go out to a tournament and just let it rip, it's pretty fun.
Now, you're wearing a pretty cool shirt because it's a big deal, and it's now underway.
It's a very big deal. And flag football, I didn't know if we'd have any girls sign up, and we filled up a team. You can have 20, and we filled that up. And we start tonight we play Edison at Booker T, and I think it's going to be a fun thing. We went and watched videos of, like, Alabama already has flag football and stuff, and we luckily had a girl move from Alabama that's on our flag football team. So we did not recruit her. It was legal. She just moved here. She just happened to move to Webster. We got lucky. But yeah, we're excited to see how it goes. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun.
Anytime there's another opportunity for kids, it's a good thing.
100%.
What are the biggest challenges in front of you right now as the Webster AD?
You know what? Everything's going pretty nicely here right now.
Be careful when you say that. You know what happens.
True. The one crazy thing is, like, our football team, we were supposed to be JV for 2 more years. Mm-hmm. Well, what happened is one of the 2A districts, which we dropped down low enough after COVID, only had 7 teams. So they called Mick Wilson and say, hey, would Webster want to fill in as the 8th team? So we're pretty much playing a varsity schedule with Metro, like the #1 team in the states in our district. It's a tough district. And we're having to play playing those varsity teams with our JV kids. So the worst thing I'm having to deal with is coaches thinking they should win every game and just say, hey, give it a year or 2, we're going to be fine.
But you've got it rolling in the right
direction. We do have it
it
rolling in the right direction.
Kirk, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Do love the shirt. That is Kirk Baker. He is, he coaches about everything here, and he's also the athletic director at Webster. Back with more Inside Tulsa Athletics coming up.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
It's time for more Inside Tulsa Athletics. I am your host, Rick Couri, and we've got another Hale Ranger here. Elton Sykes is the principal. Welcome in.
Thank you.
I just love they keep funneling me all these things from all these people from over at Tulsa Hale. How are things in the hallways?
It's good. Yeah, I just started this July as the principal, so we've had overall a good start to the school year.
Tell me some of the unique challenges to walking into a Tulsa public school and becoming a principal there and trying to put your imprint on something, honor the past a little bit, and make things better.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest challenge. So for me, what I did is that I scheduled meetings with the teachers and alumni and invited them to come and have a 30-minute conversation with me to learn about what's going well at the school, what are some areas of improvement. And from that was able to really kind of put a plan together to address some of the concerns that I heard from the teachers and the alumni. And so far we've been implementing it. And I think you've seen some positives come from that. I think our attendance is up. Our teachers seem to be very positive about what's going on in the school. And the alumni, I've been visible at the class of 74 50th year reunion, and the Alumni Foundation just inducted 5 new people into the Hall of Fame, and I was there for that. And so really starting to build those relationships and getting some of the alumni to come back and support their alma mater. So it's been busy. It's never a dull moment, but it's been fun. And it's been fun to see how we're moving Hale forward.
What good comes from having those people back, the alumni, guys like me or ladies who want to come back and just kind of be there again or be a part or try to help?
Yeah, well, I think you learn about the traditions. You learn about how to sing the school song or how to sing, the fight song at the football game after we score. So you start to learn about the traditions of what went on at Hale and some of those things that we want to keep going at the school.
When you said you had those meetings with teachers and things and started to address things, what are some of the early things you wanted to change and improve?
I think for us was the sense of urgency from our students to get to class on time, really moving in the hallways, being visible in the hallways to try to make sure kids are where they're supposed to be. So we've really focused on that, and also interventions to try to support our students. We have some students that come to us with trauma, and so just making sure that we have those services available. So we have 2 counseling services available at our school where kids can go and talk to if they need support.
I would imagine those are pretty busy offices.
Yes.
What makes somebody want to be a principal? Now, you're the pinpoint of every problem, but every good thing too. But that's a lot of responsibility.
It is. I think for me, I can only speak for myself. You have your locus of control. When you're a teacher, your locus of control is your classroom, and that's what you really can affect. So as a principal, you have the ability your locus of control is the whole school. So I want to ensure that every student that matriculates through Nathan Hale or any school that I work at is moving towards achieving the goals that they want to accomplish. So if that's going to college, if that's getting a degree, a tech degree or something like that, whatever it is, we want to help our students get there. And so for me, that's why I like being principal, because I get to help our students accomplish the goals they want to accomplish.
Some students just have an easy time having relationships with higher ups. Others really struggle with that authority, and then they kind of tamp themselves down. How do you establish relationships just in the hallways with kids?
I think visibility and talking to them, communicating to them, learning their names, showing up to their sporting events and other activities that we have around the school, I think goes a long way to building those relationships with students. And the students get to see you as a human being. I'm not like that big mean guy that just sits in the office down. I'm a human being. I laugh, I joke, I'm serious just like they are, and they get to see that, and I think that helps build those relationships.
Right, and then you see those people in the hallways, and then they influence others, and you kind of create a wave, don't you?
Yes, there you go.
All right, so at this time of year, what are you focusing on right now? Certainly athletics, there's stuff happening all over the place. You're transitioning from one sport to another, which you're really kind of always doing, but what else is most on your plate?
I think right now we're focused on pre-ACT. So
Sure.
Last week, the freshmen and sophomores took the pre-ACT. Next week, the juniors will take it. And I think we're also focusing on, we had all of our sophomores go to a Tulsa Tech campus to kind of review that, because they apply at the end of, around January, February to go to Tulsa Tech next year. So yeah, it's never, like I said, it's never a dull moment. There's always something going on at a school. So But though I would say those are the big things we're kind of focused on this.
Elton, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Continued success over at Nathan Hale.
Absolutely. And what size shirt do you wear?
2X. Thanks for asking.
2X. I got
like
you.
This guy. I like
Got
this guy.
you.
Coming back with more Inside Tulsa Athletics after I get my shirt right here.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back. This is Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm your host, Rick Couri. Rickey Bruner is joining us now. He is the athletic director at East Central High School. That's a good-looking shirt right there. But I know you're a Sapulpa guy from your junior high or from your high school days, huh?
Yes, sir. Yeah, born and raised in Sapulpa and graduated from Sapulpa.
And now at East Central as the athletic director, Tulsa Public Schools ADs have a unique job. They are trying to not only raise numbers across the board, but keep everybody happy and kind of going down that straight line.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you finding this AD thing?
It's been great. You know, I work with a great team at East Central, great Principal Gina Wilson. You know, our administration is great. We have great coaches, great students. So I've really enjoyed being AD so far at East Central High School.
You know, so many people like working at certain things, but they don't want to be that top person because everything rolls downhill and there's a lot of fingers pointing up at you. What made you want to do that?
Well, I've been a coach for 17 years. You know, I coached high school basketball and been a part of coaching pretty much my whole life. And so being on the other side, being able to help coaches is something that I was very interested in doing. You know, so I've enjoyed that. And like you said, there's some pressure, you know, to try to keep your coaches happy, get them what they need and different things like that. So you deal with a lot of different personalities. But I've always been a pretty cool, calm, collected type of person, you know, so I think I fit that AD role pretty well. And, you know, just trying to help people is what I like to do.
You know, some of the things you just said right there reminds you of coaching because some players need a pat, some need something a little stronger. Coaches are the same way. Do you find you're using all the same principles you used when you were coaching?
Yeah, that's exactly spot on. You know, some coaches you talk to and you can be calm with them, whatever. Some of them you have to be firm because, you know, we have some alpha males and females and then some that are, you know, a little bit more reserved, but yeah, you got to use all those coaching tools as an AD, same you did as when I was a basketball coach.
Now, you certainly, you know, talk to somebody about this. You went through a process and you have an idea in your mind what you think it's going to be like. Then you walk in day one and usually it's completely different. It's just
yeah,
the
for
way
sure.
that works. So when you actually started into the job, what did you find harder? What did you find easier? Anything surprise you?
The hard part, I would say for me was just, you know, I was a basketball guy, so I focused on that. And I didn't really worry about all the other sports. And now it's just managing, you know, a whole athletic program, you know, winter sports, fall sports, spring sports, just, you know, time management, you know what I mean? And not focused on just one thing because now I got this to do or this person's calling and this coach wants this person wants this. So just wearing a lot of hats, you know, that would be probably the most challenging part when I first started. But like I said, I just enjoy being able to help everyone be successful.
What was the easiest part? What just kind of went like that for you?
The easiest part was just, I would say, would just be the relationships. You know, I've always been a relationship person, so just building positive relationships with the coaches and the students also still, because I'm, you know, still a big student guy as well. So just bringing all of that together, I would say, has been the easiest part.
Now, being a coach, and you kind of have a rapport with people anyway and some of the other students because you've got trainers and things like that on your group and assistants. However, when you become a person of authority, people can see you differently. How do you maintain that relationship with kids?
I just be myself. You know, I'm a kids first guy, even being with the athletic director, because it's about the kids. Mm-hmm. You know, so I talk to the kids all the time, and I still teach class. You know, I do 3 classes of PE, which I enjoy because that's where I build a lot of relationships with the students and where I get a lot of feedback just by listening. You know, if you just sit and be quiet and listen to kids talk, you'll find out a lot, you know, and I'll take some of the information that I get from those students and apply it where I need to apply it as far as the way our athletics are going. Now I don't take everything I hear from the kids, of course, but I would say, you know, really just being myself. I'm a people person and I like to, you know, talk to people, get to learn about them. And through that, I feel like I learned how to help them.
How far in advance does a TPS AD have to be on the calendar? You talked about all those sports. Well, you've got to start talking about those way back here, and then you're in the season, and then it's not that you forget them, but it's the next thing. So how far are you working in advance?
I'd like to be a year ahead. You know, I'm not saying I'm there yet, but that's my goal, you know, because you may be in winter sports and you already got to be ready for fall, you know, and then like my soccer coaches come to talk to me already every day, you know, and I'm like, well, that ain't till the spring, but everybody wants their stuff done, you know what I mean? So you definitely got to be proactive and be ahead.
Is that part of the joy of the job, though, is that you don't have one thing to do, you have a lot of things to do? It can be scattered, but it's also entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy that, you know, I enjoy just helping everybody and being ahead, you know, and seeing where we started and where we're going. Just like last year, my first year as the AD at East Central was last year, and we've come so far from last year as our athletic program to this year. It's fun to see the growth in our programs.
What's the next step you'd like to take?
Well, just to continue to build our athletic programs, to get our teams at East Central competing at a high level in the playoffs. You know, like our basketball teams, I was just talking to our coaches, and we want to try to make state tournament runs this year, getting our football teams to consistently be in the playoffs and competing for championships. We have a really good boys soccer team that's already to that point. We got a new soccer coach this year, John Timmons, and he's high-level soccer coach. So I want to continue our soccer program, but just getting all our sports competing at the highest level and competing for state championships. You know, our boys basketball team is getting the opportunity to go to New York this year to play. Our girls basketball team is going to Cincinnati. So they're going to get out and experience some things, you know, and see the world a little bit. So just continuing to give kids opportunities is the main goal.
That's outstanding. Rickey Bruner, East Central Athletic Director, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you for having me.
You betcha. Coming back with more Inside Tulsa Athletics right after this.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Well, thanks for being with us. Another edition of Inside Tulsa Athletics. I'm Rick Couri, your host, and that's going to wrap everything up. Thanks to the folks from Nathan Hale, from McLain, from TPS, from all the places right here at Webster who came to join us. Until then, take advantage of this crisp fall air. Find yourself a Tulsa Public Schools athletic event and go out and support those kids. We'll see you next time on Inside Tulsa Athletics.